some fun. All right, welcome everybody to our March leader call. I'm really excited that we get to kick off this call by hearing from Taylor Warner. So some of you know Taylor, if you're not familiar with who Taylor is, he is the marketing development manager for the Central region. And he lives in Utah. He's got a wife and 2 girls. Can I say and one on the way? That's public, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't leave the Zoom room. I think Taylor is just like a really great support to so many people. But I think that I'm like, here we are with like our little Wisconsin team, and he's always been kind and gracious to us, and so I appreciate that he's taking time out of his day and his evening to share with us a little bit and share from some of his passion. So I'm going to give him the floor and he's going to take it away.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks, Amy. And you guys aren't a little Wisconsin team. You guys are taking over. I'm pumped for you guys. Well, I just wanted to take 10, 15 minutes at the beginning to talk about Founders Club 2.0. Now, for some, you might be rolling your eyes and going, gosh, we've been hearing about this for close to 2 years now. We rolled this out in May of 2020. So it's been close to 2 years now. And so it's been a long time of marketing and kind of this in the back of your mind. And when is it actually going to fill up and when are we going to be done with it? First off, has anyone not heard about Founders Club 2.0? Because if that is the case, that's fine. And I could do a quick recap, but I just want to cover our bases and make sure that everyone on the call is at least aware of Founders Club 2.0. Okay. It seems like that's the case. So wonderful. I just want to come on because I've been working with Amy a little bit. I've been working with Melissa a little bit. Emily, I know that we've worked in the past before, or maybe emailed or something as well. So it's good to see you. You guys have a wonderful team. And I would love to see multiple people on this call become founders. And the reason why I wanted to jump on the call is because as I've chatted with, several groups here and there, the collective feeling that we're getting is most people feel like they don't have a chance anymore, right? It's been 2 years. Surely the rest of the spots are going to be filled in the next several months, because according to our projection, we said that this is only going to last, 12 to 18 months, right? Well, I want to come out and just say we were way off. That was an estimate and we were way off. It's been almost 2 years now, and there are still 178 spots remaining, and they're not really even that close to being filled up, if I'm being 100% honest with you. So my biggest goal in jumping on is to tell you a couple things. One, if this is something that you're going for, don't give up. And then 2, if it's something that you haven't considered yet, I promise you there is still time to get started and really make a push for this. The Founders Club 2.0 opportunity can truly be life-changing. If you think about the potential that it has to impact people financially and help their families, and then in turn help other families and neighbors and those that you care about and communities who need help, you can be an answer to their prayers. Looking at all of our projections now, I've heard a whole lot of talk about, it ending by the end of the year still. If you want my honest opinion, I think this could still extend out another full year, if not closer to 2. Just looking at the rate at which people are earning points, at the level of points that people are currently at and how many they'd need to close the gap to 1,000, I promise you it's still anyone's game. And so I want you to just imagine what it would mean to you to be a founder. If you were a US founder, and if you knew that you had this residual check coming in every year on top of your great unilevel and your power of 3 bonus and your leadership bonus pools, on top of all of that, how could that change your life? What would that enable you to do? How would you be able to serve more in your communities and empower your family and your future generations as well? That's what I love when people start talking about doTERRA being a legacy company. it's because we create opportunities for individuals to create their own legacies as well. You can create your legacy, and becoming a US Founder 2.0 helps you create your own legacy, to build your legacy for your family for generations to come. I know that 1,000 points is a stretch. It's a lot, and that's why we've only had 22 people attain it so far, up to close to 2 years in now. But if we break it down month by month, and if we look at things month by month, knowing that there's going to be setbacks from time to time, but we're going to have a lot of wins as well along the way. If we really break it down month by month, we can see that it's attainable. And so what I would love from each of you, I'm going to put my email in the chat. If you want to commit to go for this, reach out and just let me know so that I can have you on my radar. I'd love to check in from time to time to see how you're doing. We can set up, I do strategy calls. Our account managers, if you work with account managers, they do strategy calls as well, because what we want to do is come up with a personalized game plan for you so that you know exactly what you need to do. Like I said, month in and month out, because looking at it broadly, if we just say, I got to get to 1,000 points, that's overwhelming for a lot of people. But if we see that, okay, in this month, I just need to enroll this many people. And of those, I just need to get this many on LRP. And then the following month, if I do something similar and then I hit this rank, you start to add it up and you start to realize, okay, I can do this. You break it down and you don't swallow the whole elephant all at once. It's bite by bite, correct? And so I would love to hear from each of you. If this is one of your goals, if this is something you're thinking about, I want to know about it. And between myself, your account management team, I know Amy, Melissa, Crossline, Downline, work with your community, work with those who are supporting you, and you have a wonderful support group. I will say that there are a lot of teams that, I offer to jump on and do calls like these, and the leaders, they go, we don't really care for that, or we're not doing team calls. And so you guys have a very supportive upline, and you guys have supportive crossline and team collaboration, I'm sure. And that's not normal, or I shouldn't say it's not normal, because we have created a wonderful culture at doTERRA, but not every team functions like this. And so you're in a wonderful position to where you have a lot of support. You have a lot of people behind you and encouraging you and willing to do whatever they can to make sure that you succeed. I think that's one of the awesome opportunities about our Founders Club 2.0 is we're trying to identify leaders, and leaders help build other people up. It's not just you flying through this program, but it's you working with other people and lifting them up and empowering them and helping them to succeed. That's what a leader truly does. And so can you guys commit to that? If you're not interested in it, that's fine. You could ignore everything that I've just said, and you guys can move on with your call and learn the great things that you're about to learn. But if this is something you're thinking about, or even if you just have more questions, please reach out. Please email me, let me know. We can connect at some other time and really come up with a game plan specific to you and your needs and how quickly you feel like you want to build for Founders 2.0. Is that all right? You get some thumbs up or nods? We okay with that? Good plan. Okay. Are there any questions right off the bat that you guys have that maybe I can address or go over? Founders Club or not Founders Club related? I'm okay if you want to switch the topic for a couple minutes.
Nobody say we want to talk about shipping, okay? Not a word about shipping. I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, you guys are great. Amy, is there anything else that you want me to cover? Any questions that you have that you'd like me to address?
I think this is great. We appreciate you, Taylor. And again, just hopping on, taking some time. It's fun to hear from you and connect. You'll see these familiar faces around at different doTERRA things, and they'll get to see yours. So
Good.
yeah, I'm excited. I'll talk a little bit more, I think, about Founders Club towards the end of our call, but this was, I think, a good, thank you for sharing transparently with us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope it helps, and it'll be life changing. So I hope you guys go for it. If you're going to Phoenix, look out for me, and I'd love to say hi. So we'll see you down there.
Okay. Bye, Taylor. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right. So we're going to keep cruising right along with our call, and we're going to let Melissa take it off with recognition.
How do you follow Taylor? I mean, really.
He's the only guy.
Okay, so guys, I am really excited to tell you that we had 6 people enroll people and add to the legacy of what doTERRA is in the month of February. So Sarah McCord, Laura Shields, Laura Whipperman, Hannah Dobbins, Amy, and myself, we did it. We got 1 enrollment. So congratulations to you guys. And we're in a whole new month now, so we're ready to go. I've been kind of fired up by a little bit by Eddie Villa in a 4-minute video he did last night on just like totally operating out of your strengths when talking to people and picking the phone back up and talking to somebody that you've talked to in the past that maybe you don't feel really good about. So I did that last night after I watched his 4-minute video. I picked up the phone and I called somebody that I felt like had been fence sitting for a long time. And I was just like, I'm not sure I've served you well. I just did exactly what he said, and she enrolled. So if you want that link to know a little bit about what Eddie's doing, reach out to me, and maybe your name will be up here next at the end of this month, beginning of next month. So I just want to remind you all that we are in 44 states across the United States. So we have 6 more to go, and we have fierce Oilers in every single state. So if you know somebody in Montana, Kansas, or New Mexico, or Maine, Vermont, or Rhode Island, now is a great time to talk to them and share oils with them.
Thanks, Melissa. All right, Emma's going to tell us about the products, kind of the products of the month.
Okay, yes, sorry. Brain is like switching gears. Okay, so product of the month and kind of like how to market it. So I have a kind of little text blurb if you do Project Broadcast or however you reach out to your people that I'll put in the chat when I'm done. But so this month is kind of special because you get 2 things for free with the product of the month. So the regular product of the month is, I never know how to pronounce this, Ravensara.
I think it's Ravensara, but I don't know.
So, okay, thank you, Ravensara. If it's wrong, I'm just gonna say that's what Amy told me. So this is the main ingredient in Breathe. So kind of how I would share about that is like another way to open your airways without using peppermint. Like some people, for whatever reasons, like sometimes breastfeeding moms don't like to use peppermint, or people just want a different smell, a way to open up your airways without using peppermint, and you can't otherwise get it. Like it's main ingredient in Breathe, but it's not otherwise available for purchase. So that's kind of how I talk about that one, as I'm letting people know, like, hey, why do you want this one? Why should you try to get your order up to that 125 PV? Obviously with this, and I included in the blurb that you'll see, you'll also get free shipping now. So you'll get 2 free things plus free shipping. So that's like another thing to make sure that people know about. And then you will also get a free sample this month of a new oil, which I presume is pronounced Malama.
Malama. I don't
That's what I
know.
should have asked Taylor. I was like, it can't be Malama.
We
That
should
is
have asked Taylor.
It
ridiculous.
is. It's Malama.
Oh,
No, it's not. Malama in pajamas? It is not Malama. Is it really? I thought with the line over the A, it would be a long A.
I'm calling Taylor.
Call Taylor. Okay. So, well, none of us know how to pronounce it, but we're texting it, so it doesn't matter anyway. Okay, Melissa knows. It's Malama. Melissa knows. Okay, so this one, Malama, you'll get a free sample. They're going to talk more about this one at leadership, but that is included too. So the ingredients in that one are wild orange, cedarwood, coriander, amyris, lemongrass, magnolia, lang lang, pepper, Sichuan. Sounds like a Chinese meal.
It's Szechuan pepper, Szechuan.
So, and like Hawaiian sandalwood. So there's like, there's citrus oils, you know, like some herb oils in there, and then floral. I think it'll be really lovely. So like I said, I'll include that. So just making sure your people know they're going to get a bunch of free stuff, and they're going to get free shipping with that as well. So that's kind of how I'll be navigating that. I won't try to pronounce anything.
Thanks, Em. I gave you a really hard one with all of those on there. Okay, Laura Whip is telling us about the 10% off product.
Yeah, so the 10% off product this month is turmeric. And so when you add turmeric to your cart, it's only $25.20. So it comes from, it's just a fun fact about turmeric. It comes from the roots of the turmeric plant. And when you break those roots open, guess what color they are? That's right, yellow. So you might have heard of curcumin, which is the really powerful antioxidant. Well, it is one of the compounds that's in turmeric, which makes turmeric a powerful antioxidant too. So doTERRA's turmeric is sourced in Nepal and in India, and it's farmed by the local men and women there. So why keep a bottle of turmeric in the bathroom and in the kitchen and in the bedroom? Well, turmeric provides an emotional boost, so you can diffuse it in your home or your workspace and be uplifted. It also supports a healthy blood sugar and lipid levels, so taking it internally in a capsule is a good thing to do daily. It helps protect your body from free radical damage. That's that oxidative damage that ages us, and it's kind of likened to rust in a car. Turmeric is also immune boosting. So this is a great time of the year to add turmeric to your daily routine. You can just put a drop or two on the bottoms of your feet for daily immune support. And turmeric also helps calm and balance the nervous system. So you just applying it topically is a great way to address that. One of my favorite ways to use turmeric is to cook with it because it adds a little zip to your recipes. And I love making a golden steamer too. So I can post a recipe for that. I'll try to do it in the chat, and then we'll do it after the call too. So that's turmeric.
Thanks, Laura Whip. Okay, Sonia, can you help us understand the enrollment promo, please?
Sure. Okay, so this month's enrollment promo is, if they enroll with 150 PV, they get a 5 milliliter deep blue oil and a full deep blue rub bottle, deep blue rub. So that's pretty cool. I was just looking at some of the enrollment kits. And so say like if they wanted to add, or if they wanted the Aroma Essentials collection, that's 110 PV. So they could have their choice of like 40 more PV, and then they could earn those free goodies, plus get free shipping. I believe free shipping is on any new enrollment order over 100 PV. So that's almost all of the kits. And then if you guys haven't looked at the enrollment kits in a while in the back, like in your back office on the doTERRA website, there's some in there that I was like, oh, I think I missed these. There's like a whole bunch of Evolve You ones that are like, there's an immunity collection, there's a mind and mood collection, and a relief collection. And so for those that want to get started out with lifelong vitality and just a couple things besides that, those are like fantastic options. And most of those run, well, they vary from 137.5, 140 to 155 PV. So there you go.
Thanks, Sonia. That is a really good reminder to check those out. I would have missed that. We're going to get to hear from Lindsay about the tour because she's our celebrity. But actually, Lindsay, why don't, before we get to the tour, can you tell us a little bit about the oil of the month for March?
Yes, so Balance is the oil of the month, and we're super excited about it. We've had great interactions. So it's going to be your grounding and centering blend for this month. And the winner of the month, Laura had made a good point about maybe incentivizing people by seeing what they could potentially win. So they're going to win a $50 credit to an oil of their choice to round out their oil collection. That's the big grand prize for March.
Oh, that is, I love that. It's amazing. I want that. Okay. Thank you, Lindsay. I will put the info in the chat box here in a minute. Our call is March 21st at 8 p.m. That's that Monday night. And I've got the sheet up and running if you want to grab a sharing slot. So I'll put that link in the chat. And then Lindsay, would you please tell us a little bit about the Evolve tour? We can't wait to hear what you learned and about your time with Dr. Hill.
So I was totally fangirling it up. I enjoyed going to the tour because it was like a little mini convention. So that was nice. It was literally Dr. Hill, Justin Harrison, and then a lady that I didn't recognize, but they had started earlier in the day. And I was hoping that I could join, but they were going to do specifically Aroma Touch for the first session, and I couldn't get out of work. So I didn't go to that part, but I did go to the evening session, which was to me, like if you ever needed to, they couldn't do convention, but they could do a 2-hour session or a 3-hour session. That would be a great thing for them. But I would say there was a short intro and a short closing. Otherwise, it was Dr. Hill for 2 hours, which was amazing, of a crowd of about 500 people. And so we really felt like we got his entire attention. And he talked about basically, I want you guys to just kind of picture, my summary of the evening was like what doTERRA is known for with their double encapsulated. So basically he gave the heart and core of the center of that double encapsulated, where it's the meat, all the science, and then you have the nice filling around that kind of makes it digestible. That's where I live in my comfort zone. So I'm going to give you the non-scientific portion of all of that. But it brought me back root-wise to say that it's always a good point, and he makes a point of telling people that the oils work in 3 ways. And I thought he was going to say like aromatically, internally. No, what he said was oils are biologically active. Oils are selective, which is a really key point, or another way of telling people that oils work differently for everyone else. So I thought I liked his wording of that. And oils demonstrate specific cell targets. And so that was like the main point that he was trying to make. A lot of it was related specifically to all of our supplements. And I made notes for myself, sorry. He said basically all, and he had the rule of 9s is what he called it, but 9 out of 10 people have risk factors because of poor nutrition. 90% of people have uncontrolled inflammation as the root cause of their disease. And 90% of people say that all doctor's visits can be prevented if they had no stress. So they're the root cause of all doctor related visits was stress induced. So he went on to talk about how Sonia had mentioned it before, but basically the Evolve You tour collection and how it's broken down into 3 parts, but how each one of those addresses the poor nutrition and how that is fixed with like our LLV. Stress and inflammation are also addressed in the LLV, but then specifically with the other add-ons onto the nutrition system. And one thing that I was unaware of, but the new On Guard tablets, chewables, was specifically supposed to be a daily nutrition supplement, morning and night. I didn't think so. So I found a new way to use that, but that was his intention of using those. And the other thing that I thought was really interesting, let me flip through my notes, sorry, one more, was he kept bringing it back up about explaining to people, especially if they're newer to oils, that essentially if you want systemic response, you're going to go for internal use. If you're looking for targeted response, that would be topical, and specifically you're going to localize the application by adding a carrier oil. And so he's like, if you're looking to sound smarter and just about why a person would want to dilute. It's to localize and keep it in that area of application topically. And if you want a systemic response, use it internally. So I really, I was like revamped. I called my mom and I'm like, Dr. Hill always inspires me to use my, every time I hear him talk, to use my supplements. And so that was reborn again. So I really appreciated it. And I did get to meet him and I take a picture.
Did you like beat down 500 people to get there? Cause I'm like imagining what that, like, it's just him. Like there's not a lot of speakers to pick from. And then you've got 500 people, but you were in the front row. I know it. I know you were in the front row.
I did stand in line for over an hour and I'm pretty sure it was his bodyguard who was very young and very tall and very big, standing next to him for the entire evening. But I waited and I got it.
Your patience pays off. Well, Lindsay, thank you for sharing your notes with us. I know my mom and I are always like, where's the cheapest place to fly for one of those events? And I'm like, anyway, so thank you. That's amazing. Melissa, do you want to just give a highlight on Jamaica? I mean, don't make us feel bad that we weren't there, Mon, but just keep it chill.
It was really great. I'm really glad I went. I would encourage you guys. It's, if you are accustomed to traveling in that way, it's an affordable vacation if that's how you travel, right? Some of you have done all-inclusives before, and I would say it's just a great opportunity to get to connect with other doTERRA people who are just like, this group was so down to earth and so friendly, and to share and to offer cross-line support. They were like, call me, here's my information. Here's an idea I have. Do you want all of my PowerPoint on that? They were just so helpful. And we did have one night where we got to spend 2 hours and I was in the second row with Dr. O and Dr. Riggs and a dentist and a nurse practitioner whose focus really is more like a doula. And they went over things in great detail. I have awesome notes. I have some really, I had huge aha moments. If you would like those notes, just text me and let me know. I'd be happy to share them with you. But I just would like to encourage you to think about an incentive trip sometime. They go every year, every February, and anybody can go. I would encourage you to take the plunge and meet some awesome people and be inspired.
Her notes were really good, and she sat with somebody at the welcome dinner. And so I saw, anyway, that person was in the Leadership magazine. We won't go into the whole story, but anyway, so I reached out to her and was like, hey, you met my mom and my dad. I have a question for you. And so we're like, she's like, call me. So we're talking on the phone, and she puts it together who my mom and dad are. And you would have thought she almost crawled through the phone. Oh, I love them. Your dad is so sweet, just like bad. So anyway, I thought that was really funny.
Seriously, because Bob just kept bringing them virgin mint mojitos. We were drinking these mojitos thinking they weren't virgin, and they were, because it was a doTERRA dinner, right? There was nothing there. But when we met that young couple, I was like, oh, you're so sweet. You're from Southern Illinois. And, I'm going to be reading about you in the magazine some year. And she goes, actually, we were just in it. And that was the one that Amy connected.
So fun times. And my mom was on Bailey King's Instagram story, giving Dr. Osgoodthorpe like the finger, like marching up there and getting him, pinning him down on the front of the stage. I almost died laughing. So go, it'll be fun. Okay, Laura Whip, would you be willing to give us a recap on your this or that coffee shop event? You guys remember when I told you about that and I almost left it off the screen? I was so excited. Okay, she's going to tell you about it.
Okay, so coffee shops are just the place to be, right? It's a fun place for people to gather. So I worked with a new owner of an older coffee shop, but she remodeled it and she's a new owner and she's kind of thinking about maybe being open in the evening, but just not sure she'd have the business. And I said, hey, let's do this event together. So I'll help bring in some customers. I'll invite my people. We'll put it on Facebook, on my own, and then you'll put it on your Facebook, and we'll help each other. And So that was really quite sweet. And Amy and Melissa came and they were just wonderful. And it was great to have their encouragement and support too. But this or that is just a little fun game to play. Thanks, Lindsay, for all the tips on that. But you just go around from station to station and you try this and you try that and you compare the two and decide which one you like the best. So I didn't sell anything. There were no roller bottles to make and take, but you could try On Guard popcorn, or you could try a peppermint brownie, and you could decide which one you like better, and you could check it on your sheet that you take around to all the stations. You could put, let's see, lavender in your lotion, a drop of lavender, and put that on one hand, and you could put Balance in some lotion and put that on your other hand and decide which one you like better. You could roll Adaptive on one of your wrists. Oh, I think I got Balance for that, and I got that wrong. It was Wild Orange and Lavender for the lotion, and for rolling on your wrist, it was Balance and Adaptive. And so you could come up with anything you want to do with this or that, but it's just a fun way to get people who are new to oils to try some things and see what they like better, and they'll talk to each other and say, no, I like this one. No, I like this one. And then they can fill out their information on the bottom of the sheet and put it in the bucket for a door prize. And then that way I have people's contact information and can reach out to them and follow up and offer them a health consult or a free sample of something that was on the list that they decided they liked better, something for them to try. And even if they're not new oil customers, it's just a fun time to gather, reconnect, and they could even put things in their coffee beverage that they ordered from the coffee shop. So I thought it was well done and had fun, and I think it was great. I'd like to do that again.
Thanks, Laura. It was a really great event. She did a great job. She had an enrollment from it. I thought it was really awesome. Okay, next, Emily, can you just share briefly about how you get thousands of people enrolled in the Thinkific Oil Camp course? Who here knows about the Thinkific Oil Camp? Okay, Em is our top enroller. I don't keep track of that. I can just tell when I get a notification. So while she talks about it, I'm just going to share my screen for people who might not necessarily know exactly what it is. Is that fair?
I just threaten them. It's really easy. I threaten them with violence. I'm just kidding. It's getting late for me. I just highlight it a lot, honestly. So that's one of the things I talk about. Unless I have somebody who's I finished class or whatever, and I'm talking to them, they're like, yes, sign me up. This is one of the things that I talk about in terms of ongoing education, because the biggest thing that I hear from people is, oh, I've got a few oils here and there. Oh yeah, I have lavender, I have this or that, but they don't know how to use it. And so highlighting ongoing education, this is one of the things I highlight. Yeah, we've got a super easy to use class. You go through at your own pace. So when you leave here and you've forgotten everything that I just said, you can go back and look through these videos, and it's going to show you more tips and ways to use them. So that's introduced to them in the initial meeting. And then after they enroll in the follow-up email that I send, I don't include a lot, but I do include a link to that course. And, here's your login info. Here's what you can do in the meantime before our next meeting. And here's when we're meeting next, right? Let me know if you have questions, sort of thing. So it's included, in 2 different places. And then, and I tell people, once you complete it, you get a free oil from me at the end. So I incentivize it too. But people are really pleased with it. And it's been so long since we made those videos. I don't even know what is in those videos anymore.
I'm afraid to look. It says Melaleuca, not tea tree. It's old.
It is old, but people love it and are just having that refresher to be oh, right. Okay. I didn't know I could use lemon for that or whatever. People have really liked it. So I'm glad that they're doing it. I'm glad the incentivizing works, but yeah, Amy was just you're the top enroller for this. I was okay. But yeah, it's a great tool to be able to offer people.
Thanks, Em, for explaining that. Yeah. So it's free. It's always out there. The link is in the chat. I could try to put the link in the team app. So it lives there, but it's just, support for your team. Not everyone's on social media. Not everyone wants to do it with a group of people. I say it's my DIY thing. So that I just want to make sure we know that that exists. Speaking of Oil Camp and Facebook and things going on, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I put up a guide that is basically like reminiscent of what Oil Camp would have offered. It lives always within Fierce Oilers. They can go through to like tracks where they're going through. It's a little more up to date, but that exists too. I'm trying to really like beef up some of those things because everyone again learns differently. And so you'll notice that there's a couple other things I'm working, but this, some of what I've been able to put comes from a friend who I've been trying to talk with, they're not cross-line, but other leaders. And so this one leader that I spoke with, she has one of the top retention rates of any Blue Diamond team in doTERRA. Like doTERRA reached out to her and you have the almost the top retention rate. What do you do with your team? And so she let me into her customer group, and I've spent a lot of time in there hanging out and checking out what she's up to. And I think it's been valuable. So that is a new thing that is available in Fierce Oilers. Melissa, would you talk a little bit about EOMEs for me?
Yep, just a second here. Okay, so you may have noticed that we had Essential Oil Made Easy classes, and then they just kind of disappeared. It was about a year ago. They bit the dust. And the reason that we kind of hit the pause button on them is no one was coming. And no one comes to Essential Oils Made Easy unless they're personally invited. That's really the best way. So we just decided we were offering a lot and we hit the pause. And now we're thinking we're bringing those back because they're like the widest part of the funnel. They're another way to help people understand the basics of oils. And so maybe you're sharing with somebody, maybe you enrolled somebody and maybe they're not going to go through a self-guided course like the Thinkific that we just talked about, but maybe they would hop on a Zoom link. Anyway, Amy did this on February 24th. We talked about it on Sunday afternoon and she's like, I'm doing this. And so Thursday she did a 1 p.m. and an 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on the 24th of February. Not sure if you caught it. She gave everybody the Zoom link that was interested. And then at the 1 o'clock, she went live in Fierce Oilers simultaneously. And at the 8 p.m. she went live in her own Facebook group. I was like, oh my gosh, I was sweating for her. So she did them at the same time. And she also did a dual topic. So it was an Essential Oils Made Easy, but she put, the topic was like winterizing your oils, being prepared for sickness in winter. So we decided between the two of us, we're going to do this twice a month. So my day is tomorrow, the 2nd of March. I'm already breaking out in hives just thinking about it, but I'm going to be live at 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. I have a link. If you want a Zoom link, I can put those in the chat box if you want to invite somebody. And my focus that I'm doing is oils for pre and post-op. So that's something I wanted to make it mine. I wanted to talk about something I'm comfortable talking about. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow at 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. If I will try to go to stream it into Fierce Oilers at 1 o'clock, and I am already sweating, trying to be brave enough to put it on my own Facebook page at 8 o'clock.
I have to, thank you, Melissa. I have to enable that for you in your Zoom. I told everyone you're taking your pants off to show me your legs.
Thank you. I saw everybody laughing. I'm like,
Sorry.
What the heck?
Sorry, Em said it's getting late. It is. Okay, so thank you, Melissa. Yes, EOMEs are coming back. I can't remember my date. You might have said it. It's towards the end of March. I'm doing two times on a Thursday.
Divide it up early month, the first week and the third week.
Yeah. So if you're I just don't have the capacity, but here's a class that's going on, then they're there for you. Okay.
And if you want to do it, I'll give you the slide deck and you can do it and go live in your own Facebook group.
That's right. Okay. Shipping changes. Does everyone feel like they kind of have a grip on what has happened a little bit? A little bit. Okay. Some are sure, some are not so sure. I think doTERRA put out a good FAQ. There's some stuff going. I've honestly spent most of today reading the chatter that's going on in some of the leader groups about the changes that have been made. And I think the truth is this is going to be a polarized change. I didn't necessarily occur to me that it would. And now that this is playing out, I understand. So I just want to give everyone just a word of advice is, to like warn you that it's like a little complex with our customers, and to really focus in on like the positives of this. And like I just typed it out, but it's so true. I used to be able to like send an oil to somebody for $2. It cost me $6 now. $6. Like the shipping world has just gone bananas. And so I think doTERRA has been incredibly generous with us for a long time. And I think that this is like the best way to move forward. And so I'm excited about free shipping at 100 PV. And I just think there's going to be some navigating it. So I would encourage you to do it with grace. And if you need to brainstorm how to do it, reach out to a leader. Okay. There are 2 exercises that have been kind of floating around that I think have been really helpful. I've been able to do them with some of you. One, Brenda shared with Melissa that I think was really good. Melissa's was a life purpose exercise. Melissa, do you want to share? Do you want me to just share, or do you want to go into depth on it?
Oh, I mean, I know you're getting sweaty about the time, so I can just see it. I can see it breaking out all over you. I just want to say that we often hear, as far as entrepreneurs go, about knowing your why. And that's always eluded me. I've never really understood that at all. And I haven't been able to figure it out. But now I had a opportunity to do a worksheet figuring out my life purpose. And I actually did the whole thing, finished it, did all the assignments, and it's brought me huge clarity. And that clarity is helping me now when I falter and when I don't want to do something, or something feels too hard. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do this because I know why I'm doing it and what my purpose is. So if you want to know more about that, I'd be happy to tell you about that. And I can put the link in the chat box for you of that exercise.
Yeah, I think it's a really good exercise. And I think a lot of us are revisiting some of those topics. And then the Strengths Finders exercise is the other one. And this takes about 25 to 30 minutes. And some of you on this call have done it. I think it's been really valuable. So if you'd like to set that up, that's just kind of putting you in your zone of genius for doTERRA. Okay. And reach out and see if you can set one of those up. Sonia asked a good question about how the shipping points are working with the new shipping. So no matter what you pay for shipping. So like I went to log on this morning and I was like, oh, $24.99 shipping. And I was like, wait. So your shipping rewards points that you earn it's always going to be like 5. Like it's like a flat 5, no matter what amount you're paying for shipping. So I was like, okay. So I was like, I don't want to wait for the free shipping time period, because if we run out of LLV, like the world will be over. But I can start to be proactive if I want to take advantage of that free. I just have to bump up some of my ordering, if that makes sense. But so I did $11.99 shipping. So I'm like, okay, I get 5 back. That's good enough for me. Does that make sense? Okay, that was a good shipping question. Yeah, I just kind of want to close by just saying that I think that in general, sometimes when I talk to different ones of you, like individually or in different ways, right? This is our time to be all together. And I think that we're more and more all the time trying to work in our different zones of genius, right? With our strengths, with like, what are we passionate about? Like, what has God put on our hearts? And I think that there's also this kind of turning of a new chapter. I actually have a binder that says like doTERRA 2.0. So I think that Founders Club is super significant. And I've been like, it's piqued my curiosity from the very beginning. But I know that no matter how Gary and I move forward, like we need a new why. Like our why was accomplished when I hit Diamond. Our why was accomplished when Gary came home. And those whys were about us. Those whys were about our family. And somebody said, typically your first why is. And I know that if I want to move forward with like passion and inspiration, I need to have a why outside of our family. And so I've been working really hard with account management to like crunch numbers for Founders Club on what it looks like. Like, okay, there are different ways you can earn the points. Like taking 2 new people from 0 to platinum, you're a founder. Okay. Like there are different ways, like this leader, help them rank this many more times, right? That gets you that many points. And being really specific about like, who are we helping? How are we helping them outside of ourselves, outside of this family? Because the truth is, I'm pretty sure I have this number right. It's $80,000 a year in residual income that like doTERRA gives you no matter what. And I think that it's significant to understand that number, because I think that you can be very intentional about, like, some people are giving 80 grand away a year. That's why they are becoming founders, is because they're going to give away 80 grand a year that doTERRA gives them. And Gary and I are taking some time this month. We've been a little sidelined by illnesses to really think about, where would that go? What would we do with it? Who would we help with it? And so I think that the why and the life purpose exercise are really significant. And I think having honest conversations about Founders 2.0 in light of, who can this help beyond me, is a really significant conversation. And so I just want to encourage you with all of that, and just to have a chance to share that too. So any questions about that? And then we're going to wrap it up here.
Lindsay's got a question.
Yeah, what's the oil of the month club? Yeah, go ahead.
Does anybody have, I didn't want to interrupt if people had questions. So. Okay. So I have seen the daily responses back in the oil of the month club, and I asked for feedback from people for the last 2 months. And my 2 requests would be, one, some people are saying, oh, I'm following along, but I don't have oils. And so I don't know who everybody belongs to. And I know that Amy and Melissa have that insight in their back office. I don't. So I don't know. And so I've said it in the things like, reach out to your oil person for a sample. So just maybe touch base with people if you happen to see them commenting, because they will say like, I've been following along all month, but I don't have this oil. And I'm like, I wish I would have known at the beginning of the month. The other thing I was going to mention too is, even if it's just maybe once a week, if you guys could just comment on there, because it helps other people see the posts, if that makes sense. So I don't need you to comment every day. If you want to, great. But maybe once a week would be super helpful to me, just so that more people get it on their newsfeed.
Thanks, Linz. Those are great requests. So we get to meet on Thursday night for our project broadcasts, connecting, right? So we'll plan out our contacting our customers for the month and adding value, adding an immense amount of value into their oils and their wellness. And so Thursday night at 8, if you guys want to be on that. And then a reminder, April 1st is a Friday night. So we'll meet April 3rd. That's a Sunday night for our call that month. And then that back-to-back Monday night for project broadcasts. Okay. Yeah, if Melissa's in the jail for taking your pants off. Okay, that is totally recorded. I'm going to stop the recording. I'll stay on for a little bit if people have more questions about